Hey now, it is March 15th, Selection Sunday here in Michigan. It's been an interesting week here in Michigan. I won't get too much into it, but man, this is like I've been trying to drop videos every single week, and every single week the views drop and drop and drop. I don't know if I'm doing uninteresting videos, just the players are not that interesting or that rare. So we are on Buck O'Neil. Either he or I would say maybe Marvin Miller, one of the true travesties of the Baseball Hall of Fame, at least in my lifetime, in terms of getting elected. I'm sure all my people who are watching this know the history of Buck O'Neil. Buck O'Neil was in baseball for like 80 years, but most people really didn't know who he was until 1994 when Ken Burns Baseball, I think it was 94, dropped on PBS. And he was the narrator, let's say, for Ken Burns Baseball in terms of the Negro Leagues. And I think it was chapter 5 called Shadow Ball or inning 5, and he did most of the narration, and he really introduced to a lot of Americans, including myself, really how important the Negro Leagues were. He was a great storyteller, always upbeat, always positive, and it kind of put him on the map. People realized that he was the first baseman for the Kansas City Monarchs, that won a bunch of championships in the 30s and 40s. Later on became the manager of the Monarchs when I guess after 1948, which is when now the Negro Leagues kind of stopped looking at records, but still in 1948, he was post 1948, he was the Negro League manager of the winning Kansas City Monarchs teams. He was the first African American scout with the Chicago Cubs, helped sign players like Lou Brock as well. But it was really his work post his career and right around when Ken Burns Baseball was started. He helped found the Negro League Museum in Kansas City. And he really became the voice of black baseball and the history of it and how great it was, and kind of romanticized it as well as telling the truth about it. And as almost everybody knows, he was the figure. And in 2006, when the Baseball Writers Association decided they're gonna, at the time, said this is it for the Negro Leagues, we're gonna have one final ballot. Buck O'Neil was the only living player to make the final cut, and he was at the Negro League Museum when they announced the results. And of the 17 players, he was not elected. And he was such a good person that he even attended and gave the introduction for the 17 players at the Baseball Hall of Fame that year in 2006, and died a few months thereafter. In 2007, he got the Presidential Medal of Freedom Award. Eventually, the Hall of Fame created their own Buck O'Neil Award, which Bill White's getting this year. And finally, in 2022, after he was deceased, unfortunately, he did get into the Hall of Fame. Now, the good thing for collectors is there are a lot of Buck O'Neil autographs out there. If you went to the Negro League Hall of Fame, there's a good chance Buck O'Neil was there, since he was the chairman of the Negro League Hall of Fame. He would sign autographs, take pictures, give tours, you name it, he did it. He was such a great ambassador for the Baseball Hall of Fame. And I mean, I sort of understand why in 2006 he didn't get in. I mean, his merits alone on the field are way short of a Hall of Fame. But I mean, you have to look at his overall contribution to the game of baseball. I mean, he helped get Negro League players into the Hall of Fame. He was a great ambassador for the game. And it was only just due that he got in. I don't think anyone was surprised. And so again, that's a long 4-minute lead, and that's more than I give to a lot of players who are in the Hall of Fames, and deservedly so. But again, let's take a look at the autograph analysis of John Buck O'Neil. And again, we'll start off with the PSA autograph database. And again, I don't think there's much out there when we talk about Buck O'Neil in terms of the, let's say, playing days. Now, this is actually an earlier Buck O'Neil autograph, and he lived to like 94. I mean, he was in Michigan doing a signing on his 90th birthday. He did a lot of signings. Commonly, his autograph was very, very shaky, but they're signed so much of it that there is not real rarity of his autograph. You can see right here, the B loops down here, and the Buck, again, usually is just one stroke. With the O'Neil as well. Usually, it's very shaky. The O'Neil, it's kind of flat down here. You got the apostrophe and then the Neil. I don't want to go too much into his autograph because it is so not rare. Again, this is probably it is a later in life autograph, but you can see right here the Buck comes down right here. It's later in life. Like I said, the O is usually flat down here just because he was there when he became popular and when he really started doing shows. I remember meeting him at the 97 National. He was signing for free, and that's when I got his autograph. But again, still the same buck with a little round right here, UCK, the O and the apostrophe and the O'Neal right here. And finally, there's only three. Oh, I can't even see the third one in the database. But again, we're not talking a rare autograph. I mean, I'm looking at eBay and I'm looking at what's sold. And like, again, $399 still seems a lot for me. Again, $199. Again, these John Buck O'Neal, his first full name, is not that rare. There are a lot of checks of his out there. Again, this is a full name. No Buck. I guess it's a little more rare. If this pulls up right here, we'll wait for that. Again, it says John Jordan, full name O'Neal. I think it's good. I mean, again, he was signing well into the mid 2000 decade, so his autograph is not that rare. These seems like a lot of money for him for like a sweet top Buck O'Neal. Again, I think these are all good. There's no reason. In a way, I'm happy to see these higher prices because of the fact that he was such instrumental to the game of baseball, especially the Negro Leagues, after he retired. So again, I think these are all good. Again, it's a very easy name to forge. That said, I really don't think a lot of people are forging his name. Get this off my screen right here. I'm just looking at the signed pieces. Yeah, you should pay around like $50 for an autograph. Not much more. You can get it sorted or not. Like again, here's a check for John Buck O'Neal. Again, these are not that rare either. They're out there. $50 seems a little bit high to me, but if you want like an ironclad autograph of Buck O'Neal for whatever reason, go ahead, buy a check. They should be signed John O'Neal. And like I said, I don't want to spend too much time on him because not that he doesn't deserve it, just his autograph is very, very, very common. So we're going to move from a very common autograph to a very, very rare autograph, and that is Jim O'Rourke. So hit the like button if you're still watching. I'm dragging this on in terms of trying to get every single baseball Hall of Famer in. Like I said, we're at the O's. We're like 2/3 of the way there. Hopefully we can make it all the way to Robbie Young. But as always, keep collecting.